अगर दस दें कि भारत दे विच चल रहे किसानी अंदोलन की गूंज दुनिया के हर कोने दे विच सुनाई दे रही है। दस दें कि अज ओंटारियो विधान सभा दे विच भी NDP दी लीडर सारा सिंह ने विधान सभा दे विच मोदी सरकार की निखेधी करदियां अपनी स्टेटमेंट कुछ इस तरह दित्ते।
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, for months, farmers in India have been peacefully protesting against harmful agricultural reform bills that would have detrimental impacts to their livelihoods. These peaceful protesters, many of them seniors, have been met with brutal violence and have been detained, often illegally. Activists and journalists like Nodeep Kaur and Disha Ravi have been subjected to torture and other abuses by the Indian police. And as the great-granddaughter of a farming family from a rural village in Punjab, I am proud to stand in solidarity with those on the ground in India and around the world and members of the diaspora who continue to raise their voices against these injustices. I want to thank organizations like Khalsa Aid, United Sikhs, and the Sikh Motorcycle Club for providing support to those protesters and helping to educate communities about these protests, one of the largest in human history. I also want to encourage members of this House to also learn more about the protests in India and to understand how they can too raise their voices. Because as Dr. King Jr. once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and we all have a responsibility to raise our voices and stand in solidarity. To the farmers in India, we are with you, we hear you, we see you. Continue on in solidarity.
उधर ओंटारियो विधान सभा दे विच प्रश्नकाल के दौरान NDP लीडर सारा सिंह ने प्रीमियर डग फोर्ड नूं ਉਹ वादा याद कराया जिस दे विच उन्हां पर्सनल सपोर्ट वर्कर्स नूं चंगा वेश देण दी गल आखी सी। सारा सिंह दे इन्हां सवालां दा जवाब प्रीमियर डग फोर्ड ने किवें दित्ता, जरा तुसीं भी सुणो।
Yesterday, the Premier told personal support workers in Ontario that he really hopes he could give them a raise. But at the end of the day, that these things are just simply not up to him. Well, PSWs in communities like Brampton are wondering when they're going to see a permanent pay increase. So, Speaker, if the Premier is not the one in charge, who is?
Premier to reply.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Canadian history, we are hiring 8,200 PSWs. For the first jurisdiction in North America, we're going to have 4 hours of care. For the first time, we're seeing rapid builds. We're building thousands of beds. Compared to the Liberals, I think it was 600 they barely scraped by in 15 years. We're doing more in a month than they're doing in 15 years. We're going to continue building long-term care. We're going to make sure we enhance long-term care and improve the disaster we inherited from both the NDP and the Liberals. And we're going to end up hiring a total of 27,000 PSWs and nurses to fix the problem we inherited.
Supplementary question.
Thank you, Speaker. And through you to the Premier, hiring them is one part of the solution. There is a retention issue because these are precariously low-paid employees. And so if we don't address that, you're going to see this issue continue on in the sector. Yesterday, the Premier also said that he's being lobbied every single day by PSWs who are asking him to keep his promise and follow through with the raises that they've been promised for almost over a year now. But he still continues to say that's not up to him. So, Speaker, again, to the Premier, since you're clearly not the one making the decisions over there, who is and when are these PSWs going to get the permanent pay raise they deserve?
And the Premier to reply again.
Actually, through you, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to correct that statement if I can. I'll be lobbying everyone on this side. Yes, it's up to us. But guess what? For 15 years, they were underpaid. They never got a raise until we stepped up to the plate and gave them a $3 an hour pay increase. And we will keep that $3 an hour.
ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵੇਖਣ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਨ ਲਈ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਚੈਨਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਟਨ ਤੇ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰੋ।